Did the Broncos find a golden ticket this week? I think they might have. Let's talk about that on the DNVR Broncos podcast. We got Ryan Koenigsberg. We got Super Bowl 50 Super Bowl 50 champion.
Hey, I'll take that.
MVP.
Let's go. Throw it in there.
Todd Davis and Zach Stevens rolling with you on the DNVR Broncos podcast. How are we doing on this terrific Thursday, Todd?
I'm feeling great, man. I feel like it's going to be a good weekend for Colorado sports, so let's rock, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm a lot more subdued than I was on Monday night, but I'm still feeling great. Still feeling great.
Well, I don't know. You could finish that. Is that like a Trenta coffee?
Yeah.
Is that legal?
It's part of the, Monday really set me back. The rest of the week, I've just been trying to keep, catch up on energy levels.
I mean, you have an extra short week, too, because you got Buffs tomorrow night. So
Yep.
Broncos Monday, Buffs Friday. That's quite a week.
I know. It's going to be great. And then Todd and I are going to the game on Sunday, right?
Yep.
Although I saw you're giving away our tickets.
Those are other tickets.
All right. Cool.
Are those the better tickets?
No, yes.
You're giving away the better tickets.
Yep.
Damn, look at you. You're for the people.
What a guy. We'll be in the
I
nosebleeds.
tried. They are in section 110, I believe, so
That's legit.
pretty dang good tickets.
That sounds amazing. And this weekend of football sounds amazing. I mean, primetime games. We got Broncos, Vikings. Tonight, we got Bengals, Ravens. That's a hell of a game. And then Monday night, you get the Super Bowl rematch. The Eagles going into Kansas City. I'm excited to pick that game with you guys. See where you guys are leaning on that, because these games, I'm shocked at where the lines are for all three of these games, actually. So we're going to break that down. We're going to give our Broncos pick. But first, we've got to talk about some news that came out yesterday. The Broncos' next opponent, Deshaun Watson and the Browns. Deshaun's done for the entire season. He was dealing with one injury, and then a shoulder injury popped up. He's having season-ending shoulder surgery. So that means that the Broncos play backup quarterback in 2 weeks. And then we look in 3 days.
Technically, they play a third-string quarterback in 2 weeks.
You're right. They're playing a third-string quarterback in 2 weeks. And this week...
No massages? He's not healthy? He can't stay healthy?
I don't know. That shoulder might need some massages, Todd. You want to help him out?
No, hey, that's not my forte.
I think that's what most people are going to be saying, even the masseuses up in Cleveland area. Then because they're playing DTR in 2 weeks with the Browns. What is Josh Dobbs? Is he a backup? Is he a third string?
Also a third string.
Yeah.
I'd say third
I mean,
string,
he's
too.
a third string from another team.
Yep.
Is that even worse?
What's crazy is Josh Dobbs, if they were smart, probably should be starting this game for the Browns.
Isn't that wild?
They had him. They sent him off to Arizona. Arizona sends him off to Minnesota. And all he's done the whole time is kind of ball out.
Yep. It's true, especially at the beginning of his stints. When he was with the Cardinals, they balled out, beat the Cowboys in one of the biggest upsets, maybe the biggest upset of the NFL season so far. And then these first 2 games, he's the only quarterback to throw for 400 yards, 100 rushing yards, no interceptions in his first 2 games with the team.
Crazy, man. And he's like, I don't know, if you just took the name off, took the picture off, took the draft status off, and just showed the highlights, people would be like, man, this guy's a star.
Yeah, they'd be saying, is that Kyler out there?
He's been balling, yeah.
And one of the things with him that I think Baldy did a good job highlighting, he really is a dual threat quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but when you think of him, you're like, yeah, he can move a little bit. But this year, he's been running like crazy. So that is something that the Broncos cannot sleep on. They've got to keep him in the pocket, and the Broncos have done a good job against those quarterbacks this year. But backup quarterbacks in back-to-back weeks, after what the Broncos just did to Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, they have 1 combined passing touchdown in those past 2 games, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. What should the Broncos do to these backup third-string quarterbacks, Todd?
They should have a field day. They've been getting the ball in bunches with turnovers, and I think that should really continue. And, we talked about it. Sometimes to be a good team, you just need a little bit of luck. And I feel like everything is working out for the Broncos, to make their run towards the playoffs. So if you haven't picked the Broncos to make the playoffs, if you hadn't made that bet yet, it's not too late. I think there's still time.
Man, my worry is, how do you get them to be as jazzed for these games? Now, Sunday Night Football, at home.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Yep.
But there's something to be said for like your back's up against the wall. The whole world thinks you have no shot, and you've been clowned on as a defense all season long. You finally have one good game against the Packers. I guess they were pretty good against the Chiefs the week before that, but they lost. And now you're saying, like, we have so much to prove. Well, now everyone's singing your praises, patting you on the back, posting the stats of how good you've been since week whatever. And now I hope they keep it cranked up. Like, Todd, from the player point of view, is there any challenge there, or is it easy?
No, I think it's easy, and I'll tell you why. I think it becomes a competition after you guys start doing well, because you're going to look around the room and see, you know, Justin has a couple interceptions, so K-Jack's like, I need one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alex Singleton almost got the interception, so Josie's like, okay, now I got to get one next game. It becomes a competition about who can have the better game now that we're all finding ways to play well.
And the Broncos, they should be, especially that secondary, that front, should be licking their chops going up against Josh Dobbs. While he has been really good, the past 6 games, outside of this past one, so 5 of the past 6 games, Josh Dobbs has more turnovers than touchdowns. 2 games ago, he had 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, but 3 fumbles. Then he had, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. No touchdowns, no interceptions, and a fumble. No touchdowns, 1 interception, and a fumble. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. Josh Dobbs is going to put the ball on the ground. He's going to throw it up for you. And I don't have to say, like, the Broncos have to take advantage of those opportunities, because what they've shown me the past 2 games is that they will take advantage of those opportunities against guys. Now, Josh Allen, to be fair, does throw the ball in the air, and the Broncos took advantage of that. Patrick Mahomes, he sometimes does that, but the Broncos really forced him to be a different type of dude that game. Josh Dobbs, if he's throwing in the air, we might be talking about another 4-turnover game for the Broncos.
It's very possible, and it's necessary. And if the Broncos are going to go out and get the job done, to me, that's probably going to be the number one key. Actually, the number one key for me is getting pressure on him. And then if you get pressure on him, the turnovers will probably come. But if you watch what he did like these last 2 games, it's just the classic West Coast offense. Bring in a new quarterback and make it really simple for him. Half field reads. If it's not there, just take off. And we've seen it forever. You know, like the perfect example would be like what Kyle Shanahan was doing. You know, is like Brian Hoyer comes in and he's able to have a decent game. Nick Mullins comes in and he's able to have a decent game. Right. So they've really simplified it for him. Even, you remember, Jimmy G gets there and he wasn't a known commodity yet. And then they went 6-0 or whatever to finish the season because it was just plug and play into that offense. So to me, you just have to make it difficult for him. You said it, don't let him scramble. And I think, like, everything should be telling us that the Broncos defense is going to go out there and just destroy them. And I hope that the players are as ready for that as everyone else is.
You're a little you seem a little skeptical of just everything.
I've been hurt too many times, Zach.
What about the past 3 games?
Those have been amazing. Those have been amazing. But it feels like this is an opportunity for the Broncos. And I think someone else said this last week. To me, this is an opportunity for the Broncos to show this is different. Because they've had little streaks. Now, they haven't beat 2 Super Bowl, maybe top 4 Super Bowl favorites going into the season in back-to-back weeks during this stretch. But, you know, we all remember the one where they won 3 in a row to get to 500, right?
Yep.
And then they went, and that was the George Kittle game against the 49ers. And it's like, this one, you have a much better chance of winning these last 2 than you thought going into it. So just go out there and beat the hell out of them. That's what'll make me feel good. Go out there and beat the hell out of them. And then all of a sudden, all of the playoff, this is different talk feels a lot more real.
And then you look at the Browns game going up against DTR. He was lighting up the preseason, was so electric. People are talking about, like, how did this guy fall to the 4th or the 5th round with how electric he is? Well, he's really played in 1 NFL game so far this season, significant snaps. Get ready for this stat line. 19 of 36, 53% completion, not great. No touchdowns, 121 passing yards, 3 interceptions, and a fumble. What are the Broncos going to do to him? I mean, you look at the opportunity. And then also, Nick Chubb's not playing in that game. Now, the Browns still do have the second best rushing attack in the NFL. That's probably still going to be very good with DTR in there. But, I mean, that is a game where it's like, put 10 guys in the box, and Pat Surtain can cover the 3 receivers that are out there or something, because just don't let them beat you on the ground. But, I mean, come on, a 3-game win streak, beating Mahomes, beating Josh Allen. Now you get 2 rookies. You mentioned it, Todd. The odds, if you haven't taken the Broncos to make the playoffs and you think it might happen, plus 525 right now.
Yep.
And 2 weeks from now, after the Broncos roll off these next 2 games, that's going to be what? Plus 200? Plus 150 or something? They're going to be 6-4 in a 5-game win streak?
6-5, right?
Yes, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge opportunity. It is a huge opportunity for them. When it comes to DTR, I'll be honest, I am more worried that he plays so bad this week that they flip back to P.J. Walker next week than I am that he plays so well against the Broncos they beat him.
P.J. Walker's just a turnover machine, too.
I know, but what was their record in the games that he played?
They did beat San Francisco when he played. So,
I'm like, what does the guy have to do?
It's so. Was he really bad like the following? He must have been, right?
Yeah, I think he had like a 3-interception game.
Yeah. P.J. Walker on the season, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions. I mean, holy cow. So, and Deshaun Watson not having a great year, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, but the other 2 guys combined 1 touchdown, 8 interceptions, and like 5 fumbles.
Yeah, I feel like the Broncos, they'll find a way to win the next 2 games. I just don't know if it's going to be as dominant as like we expect it to be. I think that we're going to play great, but I don't think we're just going to go out there and like, 40 to zip both of these teams.
Well, I got to tell you, Todd, the odds back you up big time, and I need to be looking through your glasses or the odds glasses, because I am just not viewing these games the way the odds are, because it's just what you're saying. And let's kind of dive into what the odds are saying for the Broncos after I tell you about our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. Tell them that DNVR sent you, because they know all about DNVR. They've been part of the DNVR family for a long time, and you know anyone that's part of our family you can trust. So check them out, redhawkroofing.com, where they have quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time. They have free, no-obligation roof and property inspections, and free in-depth photo reports for all the inspections. Winter is coming, and you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait till that first snow or that second snow comes around and you have a leak. Check them out over at redhawkroofing.com. If you need a roof for your home or business, they're there for you. That's redhawkroofing.com.
And speaking of winter's coming, you need to make sure that your hands are well protected. I don't know about you, but when it's cold outside, my hands are the first thing to go. And once my hands are done, I'm done. I'm going in the house. That's it for me. So check out Hestra. They're a glove making company. They've been doing it for 85 years. And when you make one product for 85 years, you're doing something right. They have work gloves for projects, gardening, construction, landscaping, and any other work where you use your hands. You need to check out Hestra gloves. You can check them out at hestrajob.us. If you use the code DNVRJOB, you get 30% off your next purchase.
What's the weather looking like for Sunday? All right, it's going to get chilly late in the game.
Yep.
I'm bringing my Hester Job gloves. I brought them to the Buffs game, whatever that was, last night game that they had, the Oregon State game. Super clutch. Those things are so warm, so comfy. I love them.
Boom. Love them. And like you said, you're going to need them for the Broncos game this week. The Broncos line, we're not going to give our picks right now, but I want to throw these 2 lines out your way. Broncos this week against the Vikings, who's the hottest team in the NFL right now, 5-game win streak, but 3 of those wins were with Kirk Cousins. Broncos are 2.5-point favorites at home. So essentially, Vegas is saying this is a pick'em game. Because it's in Mile High, we're going to give the slight edge to the Broncos here. And then in 2 weeks, with the Browns coming into town, they know DTR is playing in this game, or at least a backup quarterback. The Broncos are a 1-point favorite. The game's in Denver. So they're saying, actually, if this was a neutral field game, we like the Browns in this one. Todd, what are you seeing at this game that I'm not?
They have a dominant defense.
Yep.
That I think is going to give our offense a little bit of trouble. And then we talked about it a couple of times. Our rushing defense hasn't been very good. You talk about the number 2 offensive rushing team in the league. Yep. I think that's what they're seeing. I don't know if they're thinking about who's playing quarterback, because he probably won't have a big role. I think that they think the Browns are going to come in here and run the ball, and then our offense has to be able to score. So
what's the
I kind of get it.
What's the age-old football phrase? What travels? Defense and running.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
You've never heard that?
No.
Really? Wow.
No, I've never heard that. Where's that come from?
Age old.
I don't know. It's like running the ball and defense goes anywhere. Like it doesn't rely on being at home. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, you learn something new every day.
I feel like as a defensive guy, you would have been just like
that.
You would have been like preach that all your life.
Well, defense wins championships as well.
Does win
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I mean, to your point, Todd, about the Browns being a good defense, having a good ground game, the over/under in that game is 36.5 points. That is ridiculous. That's like an Iowa football over/under.
Did you see Iowa's game this last week was the lowest total in history, and the under hit.
The under hit, and
it's like 28.5,
and only Iowa scored.
Crazy.
It was 22-0. It is absolutely nuts. Their over/under went up this week. I think it's at like 34 or something for the Iowa game.
Yeah, sadly their best player got hurt.
Oh, defense?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang.
Yep.
Oh, is it the cornerback?
Cooper DeJean, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Broke his foot or something.
dang.
In practice.
Wow.
Brutal.
But there's an even lower over/under this week in the NFL. Steelers and Browns.
Oof.
So the Browns are just in all these ugly, disgusting games. But, I mean, maybe I shouldn't be discounting either of these teams that much because the Browns winning record and also the Vikings winning record coming up. So we're going to break down this game in some detail. But first, let's get to our AFC West picks. And before we do, do we have our AFC West standings? No, we don't have our AFC West standings. All right, 4, 3.
5 New York seconds.
Oh, 5 New York seconds. Isn't a New York minute supposed to be quick?
Faster,
Yeah. Okay, so we got it up.
There you go.
It's okay. I have them up as well. Brian,
Yes.
just by the skin of your teeth, you maintain first place.
By the skin of my teeth. Didn't I go 3-0?
Did you?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think so.
Well, I'm right on your tail, though. Right on your tail.
I don't trust anyone around here about keeping these records.
Well, you can keep them yourself. I'm not lying about. Hey, I put you first.
I know.
Well, I didn't
But
put
I've
you
had
first.
the
I
big.
guess you
I've had a
earned
big
first.
lead for a while.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's close.
And I'm creeping up.
What's going on here?
I'm 6-0 in the past 2 weeks.
Okay.
Dang.
Yep.
Yeah, it's balling.
22-10 is Ryan. I'm 21-11. Todd, Alexis jumped you this past week. 19-13. You are 18-14. But don't worry, you still got a pretty good lead on Henry, who has become 500.
Hey,
He's 16
good job, Hank.
and 16. So we're all at least 500 or above, and we've got 4 AFC West games to pick this week. Let's jump in to our picks, and let's start with the very first game. Raiders going into Miami to play the Dolphins. Raiders started as like an 11-point underdog. It's all the way up to 13.5. I wouldn't be surprised if that number, by the time Sunday comes, jumps to 14 points. Is there any chance that the Raiders pull off this upset, which would be plus 500?
Not a chance.
Absolutely not.
Not a chance.
Absolutely not. They should have lost to the Jets last week, but the Jets' own offensive incompetence, shout out Nathaniel Hackett, stopped that from happening.
Yeah, and that
get
Raiders defense, I don't think they're ready for all the tricks, the bag of tricks that come with playing the Miami Dolphins. So I don't know if it'll be 70-20, but I think it'll be a big win for the Dolphins.
I think the Raiders absolutely cover this spread. I can't pick the Raiders to win this game.
Come on, you're on a 6-game winning streak.
No. Yeah, that's why I can't ruin it, Todd. I'm not going to fall for your trap here. I can't pick the Raiders to win this game, but I, unfortunately, that new head coach boost, it lasted a second game, and so I'm a little worried that maybe there is something there with Antonio Pierce. He seems like the ultimate guy to play for. Now, maybe he just ends up being the ultimate guy to play for like the first month, and then all of that kind of wears out the juice that he brings. But I am a little worried that the Raiders might have found their guy for the future.
No, they'll just do what they did with Rich Bisaccia.
And just say, okay, you did a great job, bye.
Yeah.
Or they'll overcorrect, hire him, and then he's not the guy.
Yeah?
Whatever they
know.
do will be wrong.
He's an ex-linebacker, man. Super Bowl champion. I got to give him a nod. I think he got it.
Would you ever want to be a head coach?
Yeah, I would do it. I think actually head coach is probably the easiest position. I think you got to manage people. You got to be able to manage your staff, communicate with players. And if you hire a good offensive and defensive coordinator, then you're just a game manager. You got to know how to handle the 2-minute drill. You got to know when to call a timeout. But I think a lot of the hard work, you put on the offensive defensive coordinator.
As we've seen the past year and a half in Denver, it's not as easy as some people think to manage the clock, Todd.
No, it's not.
I trust you, though.
But at the same time, like everybody but I won't say anybody's name. Everybody but the guy on the sideline is screaming at the TV at the right time to call a timeout or to, change the play, whatever it may be. Like, I feel like everybody at home had a pretty good understanding of how to manage a game for the most part.
I'm telling you, these coaches need to be playing Madden. I'm so serious. Like that you get put in every situation, you play long enough, you realize what the right situation, the wrong situation is.
Yep.
The Buffs had the situation last week where they should have let them score and they didn't. I'm like, if you played Madden, you wouldn't have messed this up.
Yep. It's just like going in a simulator.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Todd did at the Air Force Academy last week.
Just like that. or at the stadium, we could just have those like live boards where it's like you get A, B, C. And have the whole stadium like vote on what we're supposed to do. Because I feel like 95% of the time, like it's like the ball under the cups. 95% of the time, the stadium gets it right.
You should just get lifelines. You can ask the audience, phone a friend.
Exactly.
Who's Sean Fonan?
Calling Bill Parcells. Hey, Bill, what am I supposed to do right now?
Who it is. He pops up on the jumbo screen.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, man, that would be great. And, did you guys hear Patrick Mahomes after the Broncos beat him? He said, I love playing in Denver. The fans always bring in their educated fans.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes giving Broncos fans credit. If Russ did that to the Chiefs fans,
I would lose my mind.
Exactly.
But Chiefs fans are incredibly uneducated. So
oh, there we go.
Dude, how did you know my family is dumb? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, how did he know?
Wow. Okay, so Henry is going with the Dolphins as well. And Alexis, is she trying to pick up a game? No, she is not. She is going with the Dolphins as well.
okay, smart.
Mike McDaniel, don't disappoint us. Destroy him.
Yep.
And this is a game that the Dolphins are set to destroy because when they play losing teams, they beat them. When they play winning teams, they lose to them. Do you think that's going to continue? Like, are they doomed for the playoffs?
It feels like there's always a team like this in sports that's like super exciting. They're super fun. Everyone loves them, and they're just not built for the playoffs. And the things that you normally say about that team, those teams is true. It kind of reminds me of like Oregon back in the day. Like they're flashy and fun, and they have all these long touchdowns and so much speed, and then they run into like the Utah of the world and just get punched in the mouth, and they don't have an answer for it.
Is that Oregon this year?
Yes.
Do you hope it's Oregon this
It's
year?
Oregon forever.
Are you pulling for a Pac-12 at the very end?
I got to find out what this whole new Pac-2 thing means. Like, do they just get to hoard all the money? Because the only positive of a Pac-12 team making the college football playoff is that's money for the Buffs normally. But now it's a two-team board.
Wouldn't that be next year? Or does it kick in like now?
I think it kicks in now because everyone else
No
left.
way.
That's crazy.
But I'm sure they don't want to get into some sort of lawsuit over doing the wrong thing.
The Pac-2, baby.
Crazy.
This was the worst time that this could have happened for the conference.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Like most of the teams in the Pac-12 were ranked this year at some point.
5 out of the top 10 in women's basketball are Pac-12 teams.
Wow.
Craziness. And everybody's leaving.
Dang, that is wild. Todd, you guys gonna hop in the Pac-2, make the Pac-4?
They couldn't handle us. They don't have enough money for us.
Well, Stanford's one of them? No.
It's Washington State and Oregon State.
Where's Stanford going?
Wow.
To the ACC.
Oh my, this is just getting ridiculous. At this point,
They literally play on the Pacific Coast and they're going to the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Oh my gosh, that is just hilarious. But I guess Stanford couldn't hang with Sac State, so you wouldn't want them there. All right, let's get to this next game here. We've got the Chargers going into Green Bay to play the Packers. Packers are a 3-point dog at home. Do they pull off the upset, Todd?
No, I think the Chargers are a better team than the Packers right now, so I think they'll get the win. I know they've been battling back and forth trying to find who they are as a team, but they're good enough to beat the Packers for sure.
That's unfortunately true. It is unfortunately true.
Oh, you're picking the Chargers?
You can't pick the Chargers.
You're not going to let me get a game up on you? Dang.
I wish I could. But the Packers suck. I can't do it.
The Packers are so bad. And I'm so happy that the Broncos then went out and beat the Chiefs and then went out and beat the Bills on top of it, because when the Broncos had beat the Bears and the Packers, those were the most empty wins that you could possibly have. Now, those are just like, yeah, you beat bad teams like you should, and you beat good teams too, so you can hang with anyone in the NFL. But when the Broncos had just won those 2 games, I mean, we all said it on the post-game show. We all said, like, yep, this win really means nothing because Jordan Love is terrible. That defense, when the Broncos played and didn't have Jair Alexander, everything was bad about it.
How wrong we were, though. That win did mean something. They had to learn how to win.
Yep.
And they clearly have. They figured it out.
Yep, it's true. Now, do you want to see style points in these next 2 games from the Broncos?
Like I said, if they get them, then I will feel like this is totally different. Like they've turned a corner. They're on their way back to being the Denver Broncos that we all know and love. If they don't, then it's still kind of like a wait and see. Like you scrape out one, Josh Dobbs throws a late interception or something. Then you win like 16-13 over the Browns in just like a dogfight. Then I'm just saying like, okay, all right. Like I think they certainly have learned how to win, but are they good?
Yeah.
If they go out there and win by, honestly, double digits is enough style points for me. They win this game and I we'll get to predictions in a second. They win this game by like 22-10. Then I'll feel really good about it.
Todd?
I need to see more points on the board, personally. Doesn't have to be a blowout game, but I think they need to finally have a dominating offensive performance. And I think Russ needs to put up more yards. We talked about him potentially being a Pro Bowler or an MVP. I think this is a great game for him to start putting that, season together. So if they can come out and win in a dominating fashion on offense, I think that'll be all I need to see. I think the defense has done enough the last couple of weeks to show that they can be dominant. I want to see the offense really dominate and take over again.
I like that. And if the Broncos offense dominates the Vikings this week, their defense might want to call our friends over at Backus and Schenker at 222-2222 to set up a free consultation. They're going to work on your case for free. You only pay them when they win money for you, and they've won over $1 billion for their clients. So if you're in a car accident, motorcycle accident, rideshare accident, pedestrian, truck, they can even help you if you're injured at work. And maybe if the Broncos dominate the Vikings could say, this was a work injury. Yep. We need Backus and Schenker's help, so give them a call at 222-2222 or visit them at coloradolaw.net.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Breckenridge Distillery with the smooth spirits to get you to a place like where I was on Monday night. Enjoy some Breckenridge Distillery. Get out there. You can try their Battle of the Broncos blends, Ed McCaffrey blend, and the Alfred Williams blend. Then go online and vote for your favorite one. And if you don't win Todd's tickets, you could potentially win 2 tickets to the Breckenridge Brewery or the Breckenridge Whiskey Suite for the Broncos Chargers game. So check them out. Breckenridge Bourbon, Breckenridge Distillery. Delicious stuff all across the board.
I mean, speaking of giveaways, Todd, you want to tell the people what you're doing again?
Yep, I'm giving away 2 tickets to the Sunday night game this Sunday night.
Yep.
It's the Vikings versus the Broncos. They're 110, so I think that's right on the field. You might be able to touch a player or two. Don't touch them too long. I don't know what security is going to do to you. But it'll be Deshaun 2 tickets Watson. To the game, 2 tickets to the DMVR tailgate, and 2 Pat Surtain T-shirts. You don't want to miss it. Link is in the bio on Instagram and Twitter. So go, log in, sign up, and win you some free tickets, man.
Man.
Friday at midnight. Last day to sign up.
Link.
Yeah, here's picking the winner, so I don't know what to tell you. But
yeah, here, just look for Zach Stevens in there, okay?
I actually put a little thing in there where it said Zach Stevens. Just eliminated him immediately first.
Dang. I mean, this is like a professional giveaway. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but like I went and looked at the form. And I mean, we have all like if you're a family member, if you're involved in the company, you must be 16. I'm like, damn, this is legit.
Now that we're like a real company, we have to do shit like that.
And speaking of giveaways, Circa is giving away 2 tickets, or actually mini tickets and prize packages to the Broncos Raiders weekend that we're going out for. Circa is given a 2-room stay and so much more every hour this Sunday night at the DNVR bar. So make sure to come here to watch the game.
At the DNVR bar. Sunday they're doing it at the Broncos tailgate.
You're right. Absolutely. Yep. So come watch the Rams, Avs, Buffs. Well, Buffs play tomorrow night.
Yep.
But come to the bar. Yes, you're right. Saturday night they're giving away this, and then Sunday at the tailgate. So make sure to be there. And
honestly, if you come to the DNVR bar on Saturday, you have like the best chance you've ever had of winning something this cool.
Yep.
I'm convinced. Because I believe they're giving away 5 free trips to Vegas.
It's crazy.
On Saturday, this bar, essentially at its fullest, holds about 150 people.
Yep.
You've never had a 5 out of 150 chance.
Yep.
No.
To go to Vegas for free.
To win something so cool.
Yeah.
Man, it's going to be awesome. And
same goes for the tailgate. But we usually get somewhere between 100 and 200 people there.
Yep. And the closer we get, just the more it seems like this Broncos Raiders game week 18 is going to mean a whole lot.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome. Okay, let's get back into our picks here. The next game we've got is the Chiefs taking on the Eagles. Super Bowl rematch in Kansas City. The Chiefs, home team, so they're getting 2.5 points right now. Eagles, who are the only one-loss team in the NFL, the Dogs. So far we all have the same picks. Everyone's going Chargers. So is this where we start to see some separation between each other?
Maybe. Let's go Birds. Eagles are taking this one, and it's I don't think it's gonna be close.
Oh, I love it, Todd.
I'm going Eagles too, man. I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. I want to see them win. I want to see them do good. Anytime the Chiefs can take an L, I'm up for it. So let's go Birds. I can't get a game on you, man.
I'm sorry. This is why Yaya said, "Can you send me your picks last night?" I sent them to him directly. I didn't want anyone poaching off my picks.
Yeah, it's fair. Todd, you can poach off it. You can go Chiefs if you want.
No, I don't want to root for the Chiefs.
Henry and Alexis both going Eagles.
Smart.
In my notes, I have it written down that I'm taking the Eagles as well, but I have an opportunity.
Don't hedge.
I have an opportunity. I have to. And I'll back it up with one stupid stat. Taylor Swift is going to be at the game.
Oh, my God.
She and the parents. You see the parents are meeting at the game. Travis does not disappoint her when she's at the game. So
he's been in Argentina. He's not focused. He didn't do any rehab over there. It was a bye week, but he is not taking the season serious. He's gallivanting on the beach in Argentina.
It is. This is their first game. So they did the exact same thing as the Broncos.
Yeah.
They gallivanting. Yeah. They had a bye week, then play Monday night, their first game back, just like the Broncos.
Yep.
Wow.
And they go Chiefs-Bills just like the Broncos. Pretty weird.
Wait.
Eagles do?
Eagles do.
Oh.
Wow. Do you think they'll have a better record than the Broncos in those games? Or
It's
the same record?
but
Yeah, that would be
I
impossible.
think they will have the same record.
The same record.
By the way, huge missed opportunity for me here. Allie and I have our anniversary on Saturday, and I just didn't think of the fact that the Buffs didn't play on Saturday, so I easily could have just taken a quick flight to Kansas City, gone to this game Sunday Night Football.
Dang.
Or wait, Monday Night Football.
Monday night.
Oh, then I would have missed Broncos.
You've had extra reason to cheer because you've been cheering for the Birds and against the Chiefs. Super easy.
Yeah, so we actually could have gone Monday morning.
Yeah.
It's not too late,
Yeah,
man.
you still could. Game time.
I already
Go DNVR.
got something cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you've had quite a year.
Yeah, it has been quite a year.
So I do like the Eagles in this game, but I'm gonna chase here.
Broncos Brazil saying that can't be right.
Taylor's in Brazil right now. I guess I haven't heard that she's gonna be there. The families are meeting.
Going to be there. Well, so she would go.
The families are meeting.
She would go Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. So she technically could go from Brazil to Kansas City on Monday.
That's true.
I don't know how long that flight is.
She can be jet lagged.
Sure.
Yeah, that doesn't matter.
I mean, she does have to be on TV more than anyone.
That's very true. That's true. That's a good point. Yeah. Again, I think it's. I'm gonna be betting on the Eagles money line with this one.
You don't get to do this.
Yes, I
You're
do.
taking both sides.
No, I think the Eagles are going to win, but I'm picking the Chiefs to get a game on you.
Doesn't count. Put him down for what he actually believes, not what he was just playing the game.
Give me the Chiefs here, unfortunately. And then we've got the Broncos game. And Ryan, we haven't really heard the keys for this game from you. So before we give our picks, what do you need to not need to see? What do you think you're going to see in this game? And Justin Jefferson, before we get into that, Justin Jefferson just talked, and it looks like he is going to play.
Cool. 3 catches, 34 yards. To me, I honestly think this is going to be a low-scoring, grinded out. I think it's going to look similar to the Broncos 49ers Sunday night game last year, which was just an ugly, just slop fest. But I think that's what you're going to get here. And I think late in the game, Russell Wilson's going to have a clutch drive and go down there and lead the Broncos to a win.
I love that. And
I like it too.
Let's.
By the way, can I just say a point that I've been stewing on all week about Russell Wilson?
Yep.
I don't understand anyone who is saying Russell Wilson is not back. Because if you watched Russell Wilson in Seattle, this is exactly what he was. I mean, like play for play, snap for snap. Now, he did a little more of the scrambling stuff while he was in Seattle, but look at the stats, man. This was almost exactly what he did in his good seasons. He put about 200-ish yards up a game. He threw a lot more touchdowns than he threw interceptions, and he made clutch plays in clutch moments. The Monday night performance from Russell Wilson is, as someone who used to bet on Russell Wilson every single time he was an underdog in prime time, I have seen that game play out 1,000 times. The little pitches to the, while under pressure, like that's what he did. So if you're saying he's not back, to me, it means that you just didn't see what he was like in Seattle, because he was never your on schedule, pick you apart type of quarterback. It's just not who he was. He's a kind of a guy who rode off of the clutch factor. Now that was like completely gone for a while, but the clutch factor for Russ is back, and I'm seeing the same guy with a little bit less scrambling.
Well, and let's go through those stats really quick. So Russ has played this is his 12th season in the NFL. His 67.9% completion this year is his third best in his career. Let's see, touchdowns, he's on pace for 36 touchdowns, I believe. No, 34 touchdowns. That would be the third most in his career. Only one off the second most. His most he's ever had is 40, so that's right up there. He's on pace for 8 interceptions. That would be right about middle of the pack for him in his career. And then you look at yards per game. That is the only thing that's really not where that would be the second fewest that he's had, only to his rookie year, but he only averaged 234 passing yards per year in Seattle. He wasn't averaging 285 or something like that. His passer rating right now would be the 5th best in his career, and QBR, 2nd worst in his career. But you average all those out, this is Russell Wilson of Seattle.
Well, and a lot of people saying the deep balls are missing. The deep balls were there earlier in the season. Teams don't want to let the Broncos get the deep ball off because they know that's their fast way to get offense. They've tried to take away Marvin Mims. There's a couple times there where he could have gotten to Marvin Mims and hasn't gotten the ball off. But you can see the Broncos are trying to set that up. It's not that Russ can't throw it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen him make that throw this season. It's that teams are trying to take it away, so it's not there as much, and you obviously can't throw it when you're under pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Now, he's running the ball about 4.5 times per game. That would be the 4th fewest, but his yards per rush, 4th best, 5.8 yards per carry. He's on pace for about 450 rushing yards, and that would be right in the middle of where he's been. So, I mean, yes, he's not as fast, but he is running at the right times. And, Todd, you broke it down one of those plays where the middle of the field just opened up against the Bills. He took off for like 15 yards, and you said he probably could have picked up a few more, too.
We were yelling down at the TV.
No, but he's playing really well, and I like that he's taking everything really the defense is going to give to him. And I think this team is shaping up to be similar to those dominant teams in Seattle. We're the Broncos, so we're always going to be better. But dominant defense, being able to get our hands on the ball, good running game, and Russell Wilson is able to do what he does best. So I think that's his formula to being successful, and we've kind of adopted it.
There was, I think it was NFL Network. Maybe not. Don't want to throw those guys on the bus since they're part of our family. But an NFL Network panel picked the Broncos-Vikings game yesterday. 7 of them picked the Vikings to win this game. And I just can't wrap my mind around how that happens. Do you guys think the Broncos are going to win? Let's give out our final picks after I tell you about DraftKings Sportsbook. If you want to bet on the Broncos, you feel this strongly about the Broncos as I do, place a $5 bet on anything. It can be on tonight's Thursday night game. It can be on basketball. It can be on hockey, whatever it is. And you're going to get, for new users, $200 in bonus bucks instantly in your account. But then you can use those bonus bucks to bet on the Broncos, plus $550 over at DraftKings to make the playoffs. For the Broncos to win this game, minus 125. For the Broncos to cover 2.5 points, you can do that at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's all there. Before we get our Broncos picks, over at DraftKings, they have the game tonight, Bengals, Ravens. Bengals are a 3.5-point dog going into Baltimore. Who do you guys like?
Give me Bengals money line. It's about plus 150.
Yep, plus 154 at DraftKings. I love that.
I mean, give me the Ravens on Lamar. I think he has a bounce back game and he plays his butt off.
Yep, I think this is gonna be such a good game.
This is where I can get a game on you. Can we add that to the? We gotta add that to the stats.
Give me the Bengals plus 3.5 here. I think that this is gonna be a heck of a game. Both teams coming off really embarrassing losses in the fashion that they lost. I think Joe Burrow is going to be fired up for this one. So,
Joe Burrow might be my new Russell Wilson. Like, I just love betting on him as an underdog.
I wonder what he's like in primetime games, because he is a dude that just shows up.
He's definitely good in primetime.
Yeah, I think so. Exactly. So check out DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the code DNVR when you sign up. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.gambler.net. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort in Kansas. Licensee partner, Golden Lake, Charles, Louisiana. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus specs expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/terms. Football terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
And check out our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer brewery of the DNVR. The Broncos Country Pale Ale is the beer of the month. So come down, check us out on Friday and Saturday night, especially Saturday night, of course, because we're doing the giveaway. You can come, have some great beer, and also win a chance to go to Circa in Vegas and check out the Broncos beating the Raiders. Always good to see. They have tons of great beer. They have the Avalanche Amber Ale, the Mile High City Ale, the Fun Slinger, the Good Company Hard Seltzer, which is delicious. Check out our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery using breckbrew.com for their beer locator.
All right, let's get into our Broncos picks. And this is our parting shots presented by Breckenridge Distillery. We've got Breckenridge Distillery on our set as always. And if you want something to drink this weekend while watching Sunday Night Football, for tonight, for Monday Night Football, go to your local liquor store, pick up some Breckenridge Distillery. You can find it over at BreckenridgeDistillery.com. Let's get into our parting shots. And if you want to get in on the action with us, join Splash Sports, their Pick'em, where we're doing our picks, and you can find that link in our description. SplashSports.com/DNVR, where you can play. The winner can get up to $5,000.
Damn.
Second place, $1.5 thousand. Third place, $750. We're giving out some merch to fourth, and fifth place as well. I mean, we've got it all
How many
over
people
at
are in this?
SplashSports.com/DNVR. It's filling up right now. Up to 400 people can join. The more people that join, the bigger the pot gets.
Are you guys eligible to win?
We're in there.
Exactly.
We're putting money in.
I
So
better
we
win. I put my picks in today. I better win.
So put your picks in. It's Broncos picks. It's AFC West picks. It's all the picks in the NFL to get in over there. Okay, Todd, fire us up.
I got it. Hey, get it being turned up, TD. Let's go get it being turned up. Oh my God. But this feels fucking great. This feels fucking great right here, baby. Hey, we got to cross the line. It's time to whoop their ass. It's time to whoop their ass. Let's bring it to these boys now. Let's go, y'all. It's on us. Let's go to one. Let's go to one. Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3. Broncos.
Oh, baby, this hits even more for a primetime game. I cannot wait for this. And just think about it. A couple of weeks ago, seemed so obvious. Like, oh, this is going to be flexed. This is now like a 205 game because you have the Kirk Cousins-less Vikings and the 1-5 Broncos. Oh, how the tides have changed. The two hottest teams in the NFL. Now, obviously, the NFL probably wishes that Kirk Cousins was in this game because it's just a little more juice. But outside of that, I mean, the NFL got the exact game they wanted when they signed up for this as a primetime game earlier in the season. It's wild how this game sets up.
Todd, will you fire me up like that at the tailgate on Sunday before we go to the game? Let's go. That gets me every time. Yeah, man, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun one. Broncos country has been down, but Broncos country bounces back so quick. If you go and just look at game time right now for the prices to go to the game, you can tell that Broncos fans are buying up tickets.
Yep.
It's going to be a packed house as always. It's going to be loud. It's going to be a raucous environment, and I'm honestly just most excited about that. It's why I want to go to the game so badly, because it's like Mile High is going to be back on Sunday night.
I love it. Remember the last time the Vikings played in Denver? Todd, you were on the field.
When we played in, they played here?
They played here.
I don't remember.
2015.
Oh, Teddy Bridgewater with the fumble at the end.
Teddy Bridgewater. How much has changed since that game? Teddy Bridgewater was a Vikings quarterback. He's already been the Broncos quarterback since then. Now he's no longer the Broncos quarterback. Broncos haven't made the playoffs, and both teams are looking to make the playoffs this year.
Was that T.J. Ward stripped the ball at the end of the game?
I think it was Vaughn.
Okay.
I thought it was a Von Miller strip sack.
Maybe TJ recovered
to end that game. Yeah, probably. I can absolutely see that. Broncos won the game. That was an afternoon game. Is that how this game's going to end? Is it going to be a close game?
Oh, man, I've been back and forth. I just got done saying that I think it's going to come down to a Russell Wilson clutch drive at the end, but maybe it still will. But I just have this score in my head, so I just have to roll with it.
Okay.
22-10. 22-10 Broncos. So maybe there's, I don't know, something that happens late where they need, maybe it's 10-10 and then they go down and I don't know. It's going to be a clutch drive. It's going to be 22-10. That's just, I got to go with my gut.
I love it. Todd, what's your gut telling you?
This is tough because, I used to be a former Viking.
Yeah, this is the Todd Davis Bowl, baby.
And, just being able to see them come out, and Justin Jefferson, man, like being there his rookie year, that was like some of the best. That was the best year I had seen from a wide receiver, and he was a rookie at the time. So
crazy. Just
out there balling. But I think him coming back is actually going to hurt the team. It's always tough to work your star player back into the lineup. It always changes the dynamic of, the overall team. And, Josh Jacobs has been playing good. Josh Joseph has been playing good, but he hasn't had to find Justin Jefferson on every play and making sure he's getting him the ball and finding him. He's just been playing football. So I think it's always tough to bring the quote-unquote superstar back into the mix. So for that, I think the Broncos are going to have a good outing. I'm actually thinking that they're going to put up a lot more points than people think. So I'm going to say Broncos 31, Vikings 22.
Woo! I love it.
Awesome.
Almost a double-digit point spread for both of you guys. Alexis, do you want to end on a high note or no?
I don't care.
High note or a low note? Let's end on a high note. Henry has the Vikings winning.
Wow.
20-17. He believes in the Josh Dobbs magic. He is not going to be picking up a game. He's going to drop below 500 on his picks with this one. Alexis has the Broncos winning 24-17. And I think everyone but Ryan is making a mistake with these picks.
Too high scoring
For the Vikings. This Vikings, they're going to lose their mojo. They're going to lose. Josh Dobbs is going to come back to earth in a big way because I think his play is just going to come back to earth like we saw it come back to earth when he was with the Cardinals. But then he's going to meet this Broncos defense, and then it's going to drop even more. I think the Vikings are going to score 13 points. Now, the tough part is their weapons are insane. T.J. Hockenson has the third most catches in the NFL of anyone, not just of tight ends.
Wow.
71 catches. He's the leading tight end receiver in terms of yards. Justin Jefferson's played in 5 games. He has 3 100-yard receiving games. Addison's great. Their weapons are so good, but you got to have the quarterback that's not turning the ball over. to do that. So I think the key is keeping Josh Dobbs in the pocket, not letting the Vikings be a two-dimensional team where they can run the ball. And with what we saw with the Bills last week, that scares me a little bit. But their success is through the air, and I just do not think that they are going to find that success here. And I think the Broncos are just going to pound the ball. I mean, we know the formula now.
Yep.
Run the ball 40 times, pass it as many times as you need to after that, between 20 and 30. You got something for us?
What's your score?
I'm going, let's see, 24-13. The Broncos. The over-under is 46.5 right now.
That's high.
It is high. Now, the past 2 games for the Vikings, 31-28 against the Falcons, so easily would have covered that. And then the Saints 27-19, which is spot on that 46.5.
Yep. Shout out to all the Vikings fans who are in the comments today, driving up the views. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, actually, this entire week, there's been so many Vikings fans. I'm like, damn, thanks for tuning in.
They must just be very online.
Yeah. Speaking of being online, hit us with a thumbs up. Yeah, wow. You're here taking shots. Hit us with a thumbs up. We really appreciate everyone rocking and rolling with us. And I gave Alexis's pick as well. If the Broncos win this game, what's the talk going to be after?
This one's actually going to be about the Broncos because last time it was about the Bills. And the time before that it was about the Chiefs. And I was surprised that people were surprised by that. I knew before the game if the Broncos win, it's all going to be about the Bills.
Yep.
You win this one, it's going to be about the Broncos. 4-game winning streak, back to 500, right there in the playoff mix. This is going to be about how the Broncos have turned it around. Every national person is going to be, bowing down to Sean Payton. They all love him. And they'll have a chance to praise him. No one will say anything about Russell Wilson because they're too afraid to take back all the bad things that they said.
And because he's probably going to throw for 195 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks. It's not going to be sexy. And so they're not going to be forced to give him the praise.
Yep. Vance Joseph, too, will get some credit. Yep. Pat Surtain will get some love as he holds Justin Jefferson to nothing. Maybe a pick 6 in there. That'll be about the Broncos, which would be nice.
Man.
So you're saying no Russell Wilson apology forms being filled out?
No. Did you notice that had a nice shot at Nathaniel Hackett in there?
It did. That current Broncos were posting.
Crazy.
Is this... I think the conversation is going to be twofold. It's going to be national people actually talking about the Broncos being in the playoff picture now.
Kay Adams was first.
Yep, exactly. Last week before they even beat the Bills.
Yep.
Our girl Kay Adams. And then also on top of that, when they do the In the Hunt graphic and they show Broncos are finally going to be in that for the first time this year. And then the other thing, Sean Payton's going to be talked about as Coach of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to have more wins or tied for the same amount of wins midway through the season right now that the Broncos had last year, and they're only trending in the right direction.
If only he could be like Coach Prime and 4x the amount of wins they had last year.
Well, I think it's going to be one of the best weeks for Broncos country since beating the Chiefs. I think we're going to have a lot of news coverage. I think it's going to feel really good, and I think that I'm not saying they're one of the last hard games that we have, but it should be a downhill slope to the playoffs after this.
How disappointing would it be if Henry's right and the Broncos lose?
It's disappointing whenever Henry's right.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
It'll be disappointing, man. It'll just the conversation will be same old Broncos.
Right.
And that'll be really disappointing.
Yep. They do something good and then just kind of spoil it yourself. And then
one step forward, 2 steps back.
Exactly. If you couldn't beat this team, then I really will question if Vegas, or I will think that Vegas might be right on the Browns being just a 1-point underdog the following week because the Browns have a much better team overall. Now, the Vikings have better receivers, but that's about it. The Browns have a better running game, offensive line, way better defense as well. So I'll be very scared going into that game. But I believe in this Broncos team. They believe in themselves, which is just huge.
Everything.
And I think Broncos country finally believes in this team, which means this stadium is going to be crazy, I think, this coming weekend. Like, it was it was a fun place to be for the Chiefs game, but it didn't feel like the old Mile High. It didn't feel like when the Broncos were making their 2015 playoff run. It didn't feel like that because people still hadn't seen the Broncos actually beat the Chiefs. So it was a fun place to be.
Nervous energy.
Exactly. And then they were on the road last week. So this is the first time where it's like, holy shit, we beat the Chiefs. Now, primetime game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Walton Penner group breaks out some orange shirts, some pom-poms, something entering the game because they've been doing that a lot for these games so far this year. I think it's going to be electric.
So the Broncos are wearing the blues, the all blues.
Yep.
I think they should announce a blue out. And I know everyone loves the orange, but a blacked out stadium, you know, for a team that has black jerseys is sick.
Yep.
Do a navy out. I think it would be sick.
I like that. And something that goes along with that.
Dark game, you know.
The seats are also blue, so it like would feed into it even more.
Yep. Someone's got to be thinking about this stuff.
Well, instead they're thinking about the 2 puppies that they are training right now.
Oh, man. We should have them on. We call it the podcast.
Oh, the podcast. I love that. Man, and this is another huge game for the Broncos. See if they can take care of business against a team that they should take care of business from. And Todd, when you're in a locker room and you're an underdog playing the Chiefs, it's probably pretty easy to get up for that game. When you're an underdog playing the Bills on Monday Night Football, pretty easy to get up for that game. I know Ryan already asked you this, but in a kind of a different light, when you are the favorite now, is it the prime time that makes it easy, or what allows you to get up for that?
I think it's the prime time and then also the ability to impose your dominance against another team. Like when you're supposed to win, you feel like you have an opportunity to go out there and like make them look bad or really, you know, show the world like we're not just going to win. We could be dominant. And I think the offense really feels like that. Talking to some of the guys on the team, like they still don't feel like they've hit their peak. So I think with every game, they feel excited to go out there and like reach new levels and hit new peaks because they definitely haven't done all they can do and been all they could be. So I think that's what excites them. I
think the crowd will play a role too. Yeah. When they run out of that tunnel and that, 75,000 strong is going nuts, I think that'll help them get up for this and bring the energy from the start of the game.
Yeah, we're talking about 1,000 or 2,000 no-shows at this game, which is going to be cut in half, like 5-fold as to what it's been in these past few games. My final question for you guys, is this the week we finally see the Broncos either have a 100-yard rusher or a 100-yard receiver, or does that stay on the back burner? They have had 0 of those combined this year.
I think this is the 200-yard game, meaning that we're either going to have more than 200 yards passing, or we're going to have more than 200 yards rushing. So I think within there, somebody has 100 yards receiving or 100 yards rushing.
I like it.
I'll say no.
Where does it happen first? Is it a receiver or is it a running back?
A running back.
Mm-hmm. Running back.
Yeah, I think it's a running back. I mean, at some point,
someone's just got to break one.
Well, and Javonte, I mean, they gave him the ball 27 carries 2 games ago. This past week, what was it, 23 or something like that? All he needs to do is have a 20-yard run in there, and he is eclipsing that. And Javonte will do that soon. And I just got to say, I love the way they're using Javonte Williams. It is old school, and it is just wearing defenses down. Good defenses, too. Defenses that can handle the run. This Vikings team, I think the Broncos are going to be able to abuse them in the run game.
Someone earlier said, how our team's taking away the deep ball and holding us under 4 yards per carry. Is it, 4?
Yep.
And it's mostly because the Broncos can't break a big run.
Yep.
And it's fine because, the word the stat that people look to is like rush efficiency or something along those lines. Because if you have like a 20-yard run and then 5 straight 1-yard runs, well, it looks like you had 6 carries for 25 yards. But what they're actually doing right now is running the ball for like 3 to 4 yards every time they run it. And that can work. It just, you'd like to pop a big one on top of it. But if you can run the ball at, 3.4 yards per carry 3 times in a row, that's a first down.
And it's, on 3rd and 1, they're picking up 2. So that hurts their average, but it's actually a good run. On 1st and 10, they're picking up 4. And then when you balance out the 4 and the 2-yard run, it's a 3-yard run. But I think a coach is going to take both of those runs every time.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what's happening. So good math. The math is mathing. For sure.
The math is mathing, and let's hope our picks are picking right in this game. check out the Buffs. Ride with Ryan tomorrow night. We've got a full day Saturday. Come down to the bar to win a free trip to Vegas to see Broncos Raiders with Circa Casino and Resort. And then come by to the DNVR bar or the tailgate if you're going to the game. We want the bar to be popping on Sunday night when the Broncos take on the Vikings and beat them and get their 4th straight win, get back to 500. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. And before we get out of here, we got some super chats to hit. First one coming in from Exotic Gaming says, Dalton Reisner made his first start last week. I ain't gonna hold you. I need that defensive line to make his life a living hell if he starts on Sunday night.
Well, we got the reverse of that last week, which was the offensive line making Vaughn's life a living hell.
Yeah.
So maybe they can make that happen.
Man, it would be awesome. It would be awesome. And what a cool game for Dalton. Not only playing his former team, but coming back home and probably playing, and I'd imagine like 100 people. The whole town of Wiggins is going to be here. So maybe 200 people. Yeah, exactly. Are going to be here. And everyone loves Dalton, just like everyone loves Vaughn. I should say most people love Dalton. I think a lot of people were actually thrown off by the whole Brett Rippon thing last year.
That was one of the most overblown things of all time.
It really was. It really was. As a teammate, Todd, would that have turned you off on Dalton in any way? The shoving on the sideline?
No, I've seen teammates go at it. Like, a lot worse stuff happens in the locker room. Like, that really wasn't much.
We're going to have to dive into those stories in the offseason. Next one coming in from Josh Johnson, our guy. He says, one time in my life, let me win a giveaway. Would be absolutely legendary. This is the game I've wanted to go to all year. Good looking out, Todd.
Well, you're in on that giveaway. You should come to the bar on Saturday. You'll be in on that giveaway. You might as well just go to the tailgate on Sunday.
Get in on that one.
Get in on that one. You're going to win something.
Yeah, it's so true. Next one coming in from Romel says, love the Broncos country energy. Still need to temper expectations. They may lose another game, but they need to keep this foundation. Would like to see the offense explode on Sunday night.
Just need a couple big plays. I feel like that's the thing that's separating this offense from looking really good.
Yep.
Even last week, how many explosive plays did the Broncos offense have?
One to Cortland.
I was going to say 1 or 2.
Which one was the one to Cortland?
The third.
The deep ball. Yeah. It was like a 30-yard pass. They ran the crossers, the double overs.
Okay, so 1.
That's all I can remember. I mean, you get the pass interference on Jerry. That kind of counts.
Yeah, not really, though. And, I mean, it's crazy to say if they have 2 or 3, then they can score 30 points because they scored 24 last week.
Not to open up a can of worms, but have you seen all the people like freaking out about that PI and like saying essentially saying they need to like change the rule and stop rewarding quarterbacks for throwing it short?
I don't like that.
You don't like the call, or you don't?
I don't like the rule. That call is fine, for
You don't
that
like
game.
changing the rule?
I like changing the rule.
Oh.
But what? I just don't.
Why? Because your quarterback throw a bad ball, do I have to now stop my momentum, turn around, and now I got to find the ball? You already want me, like, in coverage to be running with you. Now I have to turn and locate the ball. Then I got to put my hands between his hands and break up the ball. I'm having a tough down as it is. So now your quarterback makes a mistake, and your guy can just, like, dive through me, and now it's my fault? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I just don't know how you could change the rule. The rule is you can't hit the guy before he catches the ball, and that's what's happening is they're hitting the guy before he catches the ball.
But I think it's just like if the ball is overthrown and I push you, that's not a flag. So if the ball is underthrown and I push you, it shouldn't be a flag either. You know what I'm saying? Like an uncatchable ball, that's uncatchable. You can't run. I think like the rule is like the person is required to have like his own space. So if I'm there first, you're technically coming in, running into me. I'm here first, and you're running into me.
Right.
I feel like that's not a flag. That's just from a
like
defender.
Your defensive
that's just from a defender, man. Like, that's just how I feel.
I'll say this: if the ball's underthrown, that should be a pick. Get your head around. That's an easy pick.
I guess that could be part of it, but no, man, they gotta change that. They gotta give the defense at least throw them one bone.
You think it was Sorry, Todd. Do you think it was an intentional underthrow?
No. He was just trying to get rid of it. I think it was like a 8-man pressure. He's just trying to throw the ball.
This is a nice compromise from Jose. Instead of a true pass interference spot of the foul penalty, you could just make it like a 10-yard penalty.
I think no matter what, that's still a first down.
It is, but it's a big difference, especially on the long throws down the field. All of a sudden, you've got a 40-yard penalty because the quarterback underthrew it. I would be willing to say there's like a new terminology for, running into the receiver, 10-yard penalty.
They're just trying to get this scoring up. I know the NFL has had like a record low season of scoring.
Yep.
They're trying to do anything they can to keep the offense on the field, man.
One thing before I forget, did you guys see the Manning cast at the end of the game? Did you watch the field goal at the Manning cast at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Did you, Todd? It was incredible. I sent it to you here, but because of the NFL being the no fun league, we can't play it on here because the game's in the background. But if you can, go and find it. I think Omaha Productions on Twitter has tweeted it out. And watch it 3 times. The first time, watch Kyle Brandt, who is a Bills fan.
Oh, okay. He's a Bills fan.
He's a Bills fan.
See, I feel like he's getting just destroyed because everyone just thinks he's a Broncos hater.
Well, so there's that too. He's a Russell Wilson hater,
Yep.
Broncos hater, and a Bills fan.
Okay.
So watch him first. It is incredible.
Yep.
He's doing exactly what you would think when the Bills win the game. When the kick goes up and it misses, he's can't believe it for a second. Then he jumps out of his chair. He's pumping his fist, and then you hear Eli say, "There's a flag. There's a flag." And you see him just like
freeze.
The blood
Soul
runs
just leave his
out
body.
of his face. Yeah. And he just can't believe it and is just quiet the rest of the time. Peyton.
Easily the best one is Peyton.
Yes, Peyton. They send out the team, the kick team, and it's the hurry up one. So Peyton's coaching them through what to do. Here's what they're doing. Here's how it's going. The kick goes up. Peyton's got his hand in the air to celebrate. It misses. He doesn't say a word the rest of the time. Not even after the Broncos make it, because he kind of knows, like,
He's just disappointed that they messed
shit,
it up.
we got so lucky on this.
The best part is they miss. He puts his head in his hands, and then Eli goes, flag, and he just goes. Like, so much hope just pops up. And that was almost the whole bar.
Yeah.
I was Eli.
Oh, just
Because
talking
I
your
was
way
the
through
one
it the whole time?
I was the one who saw the flags. Like everyone's head is in their hands in the bar, and I was like, too many men. And then everyone like looked up. It was great.
Yeah, and you could just tell Eli was kind of the unbiased one in this, and he just is watching everything happen. After Peyton stops talking after the first one misses, Eli just carries it all the way through. It was great TV, especially because Broncos fans really do not like Kyle Brandt now.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame because I used to like Kyle Brandt.
Yeah.
But now I have no choice.
Dang.
He's the
really
ops.
doesn't like Russell Wilson. And like you said, Ryan, those people have not apologized to Russell Wilson yet.
They sure haven't.
They're waiting until they are forced to, which is going to come probably pretty soon. And I think last super chat coming in from Dylan Smith says 27-8 Broncos, and I think Russell has 300 yards and Sutton has over 100 yards. All love Broncos country.
Let's go.
Boy, parlay those together, you might be a millionaire after
Yep.
this game. Bet $10 and you might just win all the money in the world. Actually, final super chat from our guy Rustin Dirk says, I'll drive from East Kansas for the Sunday night game with my son. Let me win. How else can I sign up without Insta or Twitter? We got a link in our description. And since you're watching on YouTube, it's just got to be right below.
I knew
So
he was from
click on
East
that link.
Kansas when his name was Rustin Dirt.
Also, I want to make very clear, I am not choosing the winner. So I have nothing to do with the winner because somebody asked in the chat. It's
Are people
random.
trying to pay you off?
Somebody
here, or what?
asked, and I just want to make sure that people don't get confused. I am not choosing the winner.
Are we
It
doing
is
like in
random.
a hat, or how do you do a
We have a
random
computer
drawing?
generator.
Automated.
It's all
Again,
automated.
gotta be
We
serious
don't do
about
any.
computers now.
Yeah, I want to make
Wow.
that very clear that it's not me.
Yeah, once I read that 1,500-word disclaimer, I knew it was a serious thing.
One day, a long time from now, we'll tell the story about the Madden giveaway.
Yeah, sweet man, that was long ago.
It was so long ago.
Enjoy the weekend. Have a great time watching this game. Stay tuned for the countdown 45 minutes before the game, so tune into YouTube right around 5:30 on DNVR Sports. And then, of course, after the game, we're going to be going live talking about hopefully a Broncos win. Have a fantastic weekend.
We all silly like the mayor.